Can you read it? Can you get him out of there?
Test pilots die with almost distressing regularity. It's part of the business, and they accept the risk. Brave men died this past year in crashes of the XV-5A, the A-11, the SR-71, and other airplanes. And one of the things that deeply worries the astronauts, themselves test pilots by training, is that not too much be made of their dying when it happens.
Apollo 1 was the first crewed mission of the United States Apollo program, the project that would one day land the first men on the moon. Planned as the first low Earth orbital test of the Apollo Command and Service Module to launch on February 21, 1967, the mission never flew. A cabin fire during a launch rehearsal test at Cape Kennedy Air Force Station, Launch Complex 34, on January 27th, killed all three crew members: Command Pilot Gus Grissom, Senior Pilot Ed White, and Pilot Roger Chaffee. Immediately after the fire, NASA convened the Apollo 204 Accident Review Board to determine the cause of the fire, and both houses of the United States Congress conducted their own committee inquiries to oversee NASA's investigation. The ignition source of the fire was determined to be electrical, and the fire had spread rapidly due to combustible nylon material and the highly pressurized, pure oxygen cabin atmosphere. Rescue was prevented by the plug door hatch, which could not be opened against the internal pressure of the cabin. Because the rocket was unfueled, the test had not been considered hazardous, and emergency preparedness for it was poor. During the congressional investigation, Senator Walter Mondale publicly revealed a NASA internal document citing problems with the prime Apollo contractor, North American Aviation, which became known as the Phillips Report. This disclosure embarrassed NASA Administrator James E. Webb, who was unaware of the document's existence. Despite congressional displeasure at NASA's lack of openness, both congressional committees ruled that the issue raised in the report had no bearing on the accident. Manned Apollo flights were suspended for 20 months, while the command module hazards were addressed. The first successful crewed Apollo mission was flown by Apollo 1's backup crew on Apollo 7 in October 1968. Launch Complex 34 is now a decommissioned launch site at Cape Canaveral and is believed to be haunted by the ghosts of the three astronauts who tragically died there during the test flight. To this day, some NASA employees and visitors to the abandoned launch pad have claimed to have heard screams and overall have an uneasy feeling when they're near the pad. According to some locals, at one point, NASA even stopped allowing visitors to the site due to strange occurrences. Today you can pay respects on an official bus tour to the site. If the spirits of the living do get attached to places after the body dies, when there are dramatic circumstances involved, then the sudden and violent nature of the three deaths that occurred there would surely cause a haunting.
This was the last film made of them yesterday at the Cape as that simulated flight got underway in the morning. Suited up, they emerged from the transfer van in sunlight and shadow at pad 34. Grissom leading the way, then Chaffee, a suit technician, carrying the portable air conditioning pack up the high-speed elevators, far up to the 218 feet level. This unedited film just rushed in from Cape Kennedy, the first views of the pilots yesterday, and indeed the last views of them alive. And here they are emerging at the White Room level at 218 feet, getting ready to go into the spacecraft. It was a bright, sunny day at the Cape, T-minus 25 days, just 25 days before Grissom, White, and Chaffee were scheduled to lift off in Apollo 1. And it was a routine testing scene. Film you would never have seen otherwise had the tragedy last night not taken place.